Have you ever been taking pictures of your Legos outside perhaps, and all of a sudden you find yourself fighting the sunlight? The sun is going down and you really want to keep shooting, make it look like you have nice fresh air, sunlight, bright blue sky coming through the windows of your Lego set. Well, there is a way to replicate the nice bright blue sky of the day, the dark blue or black sky of the evening, and even the golden hour of sunset right in your own basement or home studio or wherever you have, so that when you're shooting your Lego photos, you can quickly move to an environment where you can control the lighting and can control what the background looks like outside the windows. So I'm gonna take a few minutes today and show you how that's done. We are going to be using a household item to light the scene, but I'll also show you what this looks like if you have some maybe mid-level professional photography gear as well. Because it doesn't matter whether you're a professional photographer or have never touched a camera in your life, there are ways to make your Lego shots work. You just need to use the tools that you have and learn how to use them in the way to convey the emotions that you want. But first, I just want to welcome you to this channel. My name is Ryan. This channel is called Stacking Stories, and I'm an adult fan of Lego. I grew up loving Lego. I haven't really done much with Lego over the last 20-ish years, but in 2020, I kind of re-fell in love with Lego again and have been buying Harry Potter sets and some Lego modulars. I'm super excited about all that. And I just really want to share with you guys the magic of photographing Lego sets. How to capture little bits of stories from the little plastic toys that we enjoy so much, both as kids and now as adults, in a way that makes powerful storytelling possible. So that's really the focus of this channel. We're gonna look at Lego sets, we'll review some sets, but most importantly, we're gonna talk about photography and lighting techniques so that you can tell the most powerful stories possible with your own Lego pictures, regardless of whether you're just shooting with your smartphone for Instagram or you're a professional photographer or anywhere in the middle. I just wanna help you tell the best stories possible with your Lego photos. So the first thing you're going to need to do is pick a place to take these pictures, somewhere that is a little bit isolated where things are not going to get knocked over easily. I like shooting in a basement just because I can control the lighting. I don't have external light sources like from the sun coming in. Whatever lights turn on, I know that I can control those and I can move the lights around, even if it's just a lamp, to give my Lego lighting the exact look I want. Mood is in lighting. For example, this shot of me right now, it's kind of, a bright, kind of happy shot, some nice light. But if you look at this, it's dark and it looks cinematic and moody and kind of maybe creepy. This might be the lighting you would see in the shadows of Nocturne Alley, and this would be the light you might see in the bright daylight of a Quidditch match. Lighting is super important with Legos, and choosing somewhere where you can take pictures, where you can control your own lighting, is super helpful. Now, if you're outside just taking pictures with Legos in a natural environment, you can't control that as much, and that's fine. There's a special magic about putting Legos into an outdoor environment. But for today, I just want to let you know that even if you have to shoot in your basement, that's really okay a lot of times, because you have more control over the exact mood and feel that your audience sees when they see your pictures. So the thing about shooting out of windows with Legos is a lot of times you can't really see a whole lot of detail. Unless you have like a set like the Downtown Diner set, the recently retired modular set where these big glass windows, you're not gonna really see a whole lot of detail. So you can get away with just using simple colors outside of windows to really replicate the mood or the time of day that you're trying to recreate. And especially if your characters are in front of the window and the focus is more on them and their faces, and the window is a little bit blurry in the background, then you really don't need to worry about as much detail outside the window, unless that's what you're going for. But most Lego windows are really, really tiny and you're really not gonna be able to get much detail out of them anyway, which helps us, because what I found to be a perfect solution for altering the daytime/nighttime look of my Lego photos is actually just some simple foam core. These little boards that you can get pretty cheap at like a craft store like Michael's. So you've got, a yellowish, tannish one that you can use for your golden hour. You've got a dark blue one that you can use for your nighttime scenes, and of course you have your light blue that you can use for the daylight. I like these because they are super light, they are cheap, and you can prop them up against a wall. But you can use anything that you have really that is the right color. You can use a bed sheet, you can use a t-shirt, you can use anything that has the color that you want, as long as it's not too transparent and as long as you can kind of prop it up in some way. I just like the flexibility of these foam core boards because they are relatively small and I can just move them and readjust them very easily. So let's delve in and I'll show you exactly how this works practically. Now, one thing that you can do to make your Lego photography life just a little bit easier is to detach part of the set that you're not going to use. So in this case, we're mostly going to be focusing on the little tiny potion classroom here. we don't really care about the rest of this building for now, so we're just going to detach it. And that's actually a pretty common technique with filmmakers in real life. They'll only build sets to the extent that they know they're going to film the different camera angles. Or they'll make different walls or parts of the building, parts of the set detachable so they can get the cameras in, the lights in to shoot what they want to shoot. In our case here, we don't really need to see the rest of this. We just want to see inside this little tiny room. So we're going to move this away so we don't accidentally knock it, or just we want things to not get in our way too much. And if we do need it back, we just bring it back. It's as simple as that. Now, the next thing to keep in mind is lighting. While you can definitely use just overhead lights, and that will work okay, having some more focused light close to your Lego set will help give your light a more kind of natural, powerful feel to it. But you don't necessarily want like a flashlight, something that's harsh and makes the toys seem like they're in an unnatural setting. So I actually prefer using like a lamp if I don't have any professional lighting gear. Now, I like professional lighting gear, but not everyone has that. The nice thing about lights, or specifically lamps in this case, is that they have a lampshade which will diffuse the light and give it a nice kind of soft glow rather than a harsh light, unless harsh light is what you're going for. I just have a traditional 60 watt incandescent light bulb in here. Actually, this is a 29 watt, so a little bit less than I would want, but it's still going to give enough light to light that tiny little scene I'm looking at, because the light is going to diffuse out of the lampshade. Here's the image with the lamp on. You can see it instantly gives the scene a nice Hogwarts-y glow, and we can move the light around a little bit to adjust the intensity of the light and kind of the direction of it. I'm putting it pretty close to the camera lens just to really illuminate the objects in front. So we have Seamus in place, and now we're going to cycle through those 3 foam boards that I showed you previously. Now it's just the normal concrete background in my basement, and now we have, oops, you gotta be careful about bumping things. I always bump things. So you can see here that we have a nice outdoor background glow to the image. So we take away the outdoorsy light blue board, and now we're gonna put in the nighttime board. And you can see that instantly gives us a little bit of a different vibe. I would actually maybe even, let's see, push the light a little bit further away in this case, because it is nighttime. There will be some natural lights from the firelight and such, but it's not going to be as strong. So I think I like that right about there. And then finally, we're going to use the tan beige board. This one isn't used as often, but it is a good board to use for like a sunset type of feel. This one, you kind of have to manipulate a little bit, just because now it almost does look like there is just kind of a board or something behind the image. So what you can do is you can like take out your phone or a flashlight or anything like that, and you can shine a light on the back of it and try to get some kind of cool like little reflections to make it seem like the sun is shining through. So just kind of brightens it up a little bit. And what I'm not doing is shining the light right through the window. That's just going to make it look nasty. I'm just shining it at the board as close to it as I can and letting it reflect into the window. So like this, without the light, without the flashlight, it just looks like a window that was built into the wall. If you shine a flashlight on it, now it looks like there's actually some sunlight from a sunset falling through the window as Mr. Finnegan is completing his experiments. And I actually went back to the nighttime board again because I realized I really didn't like the way it was just so pitch black for that image. It would work well in some storytelling cases, but I realized I do want more moonlight coming in. So I'm gonna do the same thing that I did before for the sunset image, and I'm just shining my light, literally the light of my phone, onto the back of the board, and just kind of moving it around until I get a little bit of a glow coming from it. Again, the light is just reflecting off the board into our little classroom and giving a much more natural feel. Now, because lights like lamps are a little bit smaller, it is kind of hard to get rid of kind of those slimmer reflections that are on minifigures' faces. The best thing you can really do is kind of move the lights around, slightly push the minifigures' faces, just rotate the set a little bit until you can get that kind of that big glare that's sometimes on their face to move. It just takes a little bit of fine tuning. Really, the bigger the light you have, the better. So if you have a bigger lamp, that would work. But I do want to show you guys what this would look like if you use like a professional softbox. Now in this case I'm putting the light overhead and it's giving a much more natural glow over Mr. Finnegan. And ideally I'd have another light coming in a little bit from the bottom as well to fill in the background, or even have some practical lights like LEDs in the background of the set to give it a little bit of natural glow. Again, a tutorial for another time for sure. I just want to give you a look at how investing in something like even a cheaper softbox can really help distribute the light in a more natural way to give the figures a lot more of a cinematic glow to them. So, I'd love to know if you found these tips helpful. If you decide to try out these tips, tag me on Instagram. I'll leave my Instagram handle below. You can always use hashtag stacking stories as well, and I'll be sure to check that to check out your guys' Lego photography photos. And drop a comment below. Let me know if this technique worked for you. Let me know if you have any other ideas. And we'll be doing a whole series of videos coming up soon where we talk about how to photograph Legos in different environments, like snow or with moonlight, or what to do if you want to shoot a crazy vista, like Legos in the mountains, but you live nowhere near the mountains. So videos like that coming up soon, as well as some traditional Lego review videos. So I'd love for you guys to join me on this crazy journey. And until next time, go have fun building with some Legos and more importantly, taking some pictures of them.